Well, Magic Christmas Elf, as part of our pet-themed Christmas special this year, we have a special guest, Diane Sullivan from the Shadow Fund, in to talk a little bit about the Shadow Fund.
Delighted to be here.
Oh, thanks for coming.
So tell us about the Shadow Fund.
The Shadow Fund is a charity designed to help pet owners with medical expenses that they can't afford for their pets. The pets would have to be euthanized because they just don't have the money to medically treat their dog or cat or horse or whatever domestic animal they have.
How long have you been doing the Shadow Fund?
About a decade now, Brian.
Wow, 10 years.
Yes.
And how did it start?
It started, I saw an article in the local paper with a picture of a veteran and a Labrador retriever. And the story was that he was going to have to quit his job so he could access his 401k plan because it was the only money he had in the world. And the dog needed some leg surgery to the tune of $4,000. So I read the article and it said that he had given up on people long ago. He was a veteran and the dog was his only friend in the world. And I thought about it. I said, well, where are they going to go if he quits his job? And so I convinced the newspaper to give me his number. At the same time, the Andover Animal Hospital also, they were moved by the article and we got together. And we decided, I called up Robert, was his name, and I called him up and I said, don't quit your job. He says, I have to, I love my dog. I said, give me 24 hours. And my deal with the Andover Animal Hospital was if the law students could raise $1,000, he would do the $4,000 surgery for $1,000. And we did, we raised a lot more than that. And the question became, what do we do with the surplus? That began the Shadow Fund.
Wow, and so you mentioned the law school. What's that about?
Well, the Massachusetts School of Law is who employs me. I'm an assistant dean there and a professor. And they support the Shadow Fund and our charitable endeavor to try to help assist indigent folks.
About how many families did you serve last year?
We receive sometimes 3 to 6 calls on a daily basis.
Wow.
Can't help everybody, but we've helped thousands of people at this point.
And how does somebody fit into what you need from them to qualify, if that makes sense?
Well, a lot of charities require a lot of paperwork, and we don't do that for the simple reason. Often you have to make a decision right then and there, or the pet's going to die. So the best way is to email me, and my email address is Diane, DIANES, at mslaw.edu, and then we act pretty quickly. What we need is basically a statement of why they can't afford it. I want to take a look at the prognosis, the age of the animal, get an estimate from the vet. That can all be done very, very quickly, and we make a pretty fast decision oftentimes.
Do you have a group of veterinarians that you primarily refer to?
Yes, we do. We have vets that have been so kind to Shadow Fund requests that they do it at a very reduced rate. Dr. Marks is one that I would especially like to mention. Without him, we couldn't survive. It's very difficult for us to raise the money necessary to be able to support helping people in this manner.
How do you raise the money?
We have a couple of big charitable events. One is our golf tournament, which is always on Columbus Day. We also additionally have a big, what we call Animal Day at the Massachusetts School of Law. We open it up to the general public. It is always the Saturday before Easter. Also, we have a collection of pet stories in a book called Please Can We Keep the Donkey, written by all of our law students, and they each have little stories in there, and that's a fundraiser for the Shadow Fund. And I've just recently written a book. I just rescued my last 2 dogs, and they were quite a handful, very, very much monsters is what they were when they came to me. And so I have a book coming out, and all of the proceeds on that book will go into the Shadow Fund, and all of my colleagues help with this.
Did you actually save a donkey?
Yeah, one of our law students, he seemed very quiet in my contract class, but his story I thought was absolutely the best. He talks about having to go with his family every Sunday on a ride, which he dreaded, but the way the family enticed him to go was to stop at a petting zoo. And one day when they pulled up, they were going out of business and they were selling off all of the animals. And he had to work very hard, but finally the donkey was the only animal left, and he convinced his family to let him adopt the donkey. So the cars were moved out of the garage, the donkey moved in, lived with the family a decade or more, and was quite the town celebrity in the town of Sterling, Massachusetts.
So how many people work for the Shadow? You have full-time? It's all volunteer?
It's all volunteer. 100% of everything we raise goes into helping animals, and myself and particularly 2 colleagues work on it very hard, Kathy Villari and Laura Lucier, and Michael Coyne, the dean at the Massachusetts School of Law, supports all of this.
Wow, great.
It is great.
So how can we help? Do you have a website, or how do people get in touch with you?
Very good question. Thank you for asking. The best thing you can do is send a donation. Money is always the answer. But if you Google the Shadow Fund, you will see a number. We have a Facebook page. We have a website. You can go to mslaw.edu, and there's a link that says the Shadow Fund down on the bottom of the page. And there's also a donation key there. Or you can simply send in a check to the Massachusetts School of Law, the Shadow Fund, 500 Federal Street, Andover, Massachusetts, and that's 01810. And of course, you can always volunteer for some of our events, so get in touch with me. I'm Diane Sullivan at the Massachusetts School of Law.
Well, thanks for coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Have a nice holiday.
Oh, thanks. Would you care for one of my homemade cookies?
No!
I'm allergic anyway.
Oh, well, thanks for coming in. I apologize for that outburst.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Thank you.